Yeah, being free from a letterbox.
Yeah.
I wonder when like letterboxes started. You know, that you got to have a letterbox and a number.
And a
on
number.
the door,
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I guess that just became essential for that all. I think that probably all came about when the postal service all came about. To be honest, more than likely, when the mail service started up and originated.
That's right.
If you wanted to post post a mail or whatever, a note to someone or whatever the case may be, or a card or whatever, then you needed to know their address where they lived. So it was essential for that, if you see what I mean, for the person who's delivering it to make sure that they're delivering it to the right number, the right address, the right. And the great thing about today is that these people have got a digital system today where they know exactly where they're going, if you see what I mean. Like it shows them exactly. Not like back in the day where sometimes they might think, oh, that's the right number, and then when they get there, it's like it's the right number, but it's the wrong house, if you see what I mean. Like, but today they've actually got the digital thing where they can literally show them where to go. You know what I mean? Which address is which, and where they kind of
They've got sat navs now.
That kind of thing. So they don't have they hardly ever get lost today, or hardly ever can't find an address or whatever. It's much more sophisticated today.
And if anyone commits a crime, they can find them quite quickly too. It is quite a. Some people don't like the world they live in, but I do in a funny way. I don't really. Nobody likes the government, I don't think, do they? But I think they want to keep it that way, really. They want you to fear the government,
Yeah.
But like I say, I wish that there was a better government. That like I said, on a previous episode about money, like how important it is to have rules around it, like the maximum wage. Right, and I think if you did that, everyone would be more freer and be happier in life because we'd be more balanced.
Yeah.
But because we ain't got those rules around money, got plenty of rules around man. You're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to steal this, right? But money, alright, there's no cap on it, like I said,
Yeah.
And if there was a bit of a cap, I think that it would balance, stop these people getting super rich.
Yeah.
Because we've got to stop this.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing, right? Yeah, with money, we are free to get as rich as we want.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter if let's say I become rich, like Bill, and I made myself so rich, like Bill Gates, like this kind of money. But then I suddenly sort of brought half the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people sort of are free with money, and it's crazy. I think that's mad.
I know.
Madness, because you've got to stop this. Because one man can become so powerful, it's untrue.
Yeah.
And you just got to stop this.
Yeah.
Because money is a funny thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've only got a little bit of money, which personally I haven't got much money, I'm not Bill Gates or anything, right? But when I ain't got a lot of money, it kind of locks you up like a prison. You can't go so far. And travel so far. You can't go shopping and buy as many nice things as you want. You can't be free as you want.
Yeah.
But people like Bill Gates, I think he's got 10 ships. 10 ships. He owns 10 ships. Or did have,
Yeah.
You think, hang on, why?
Yeah.
He's probably got a lot of people employed for him, whatever. But it's just ridiculous that man is allowed to get super rich.
Yeah.
It's madness to me. We need to stop it.
Yeah.
We need to have a government that stops it.
Yeah.
But it's probably a government, the people that are in government are super rich.
Yeah.
Whatever, But I just wish that we didn't have super rich people in this world in a funny way. I don't mind having famous people, alright, but super rich people, that's ridiculous, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think for instance, I'm talking about say my landlord, for instance. My mum and my parents, they're quite well off. They own their own homes.
Okay, yeah.
They're quite rich, and I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about those people, I'm talking about super rich people that have got billions in their bank account,
Yeah.
Those kind of people. And that's what's kind of making our world the way it is in a funny way, the free to get rich financially, is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
The king or queen needs to put a stop to it. I think, you know, the king and queen is the only one allowed to do it, you know, maybe. But I don't agree with the kings and queens personally, you know, but that's something that involved, again, you know, slowly. It's quite surprising we still got it here existing today in a funny way, you know. Just about.
Yeah.
You know, but they're still on your coins, aren't they?
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? You know, what's going to happen next with the royal family? You know, like, because the Queen, let's face it, she's getting old.
Yeah.
She ain't got long left. I mean, her husband didn't die too long ago, last year or whatever.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, whatever, you know, but I mean, you know, what's going to happen to the royal family next? Is it, you know, is it on the verge of extinction or what?
No.
Is it going to go extinct?
I think so, mate. I think because what it is, right, is that the way that today's society, going back to the evolution again of society, especially with the younger generation don't care about that shit.
Of course they don't.
They're not interested in it. They're interested in social media and YouTube and partying and music and sports and all these other things that are available to them today that they don't really care about it, if you see what I mean. They don't really.
That's right.
You know,
It's a different
and they
world.
don't. The thing is too is that a lot of people today don't relate to it, if you see what I mean. They see it for what it is, and it's like
They don't even know.
they see it for what it is, and like, well, why they're living like that and we're living like this, and I think that's what causes like a lot of people to just be like, fuck it, we don't care. Like, you know, why should we care when they're living like that and a lot of people are suffering and shit. You know?
Well, this is what I don't like. This is the great divide, isn't it? And it's, you know, like you get the racists with black and white and all this shit, right? Yeah, which I can accept. Yeah, I can accept. You know, I accept what I'm trying to say is like I personally accept white men, black men, whatever colour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but what I don't accept in life, right, is super rich people, royal people in a funny way. Yeah, I don't accept it.
Yeah.
Right, it's disgraceful, it's discrimination in a big way, and it shouldn't be allowed in a funny way. It's like we've got two races here, you know, like the royal family, and it's an insult to all the, you know, to me it's an insult to all the citizens saying we're not royal family.
Yeah.
You know, we're not good enough or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're living in this planet, we only got one life, and there's a royal family there sort of kind of that we've got to look up to.
Yeah.
Like gods, you know, and I don't like that. You know, and this is what's gone, you know, it's like when you sometimes get on a train. There's first class and you've got to pay a bit more for second class.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well, for first class you've got to pay a bit more, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and
yeah.
I just don't like this divide of people, if you see what I mean.
Well, that's all it is. It's always that divide, mate. It's always, they always find ways to divide people, mate. You know, over the years they've used all kind of different tactics and all kind of different things to divide people, whether it be religion or race or ethnicity or, you know, whatever the case may be.
Well, even education.
Education, financial situation, you know, etc. You know, they've used all sorts of different things over the years to divide people, you know.
I mean, I don't like the school system.
Because the more people are divided and looking at each other and fighting with each other and doing all sorts of fucked up shit to each other, no one's looking at the real culprit. You know, no one's really paying attention to who's pulling the strings, if you see what I mean.
I think truth comes out in the end.
In the end, yeah, I think so too. You know, but people become wiser and more educated.
Well, I think we're all slowly getting educated. Yeah. To the truth.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but day by day, these, you know, whatever going on in the politics on the big stage there, yeah, day by day, everyone's watching it. You know, and I think like the truth's gonna come out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We're one day we're gonna know what happened with the Twin Towers and things. You know.
I think people already know.
Well, you know, I mean, like this young generation don't even know anything about Twin Towers, or they don't care about it, like you said.
Yeah,
You know?
like I think especially like people who are born like after like a certain age, like people who are born like maybe like this, especially like this. Okay, like 2010 onwards. You know, this generation's not going to care about all those things. If you see what I mean.
No.
You know, they want it the way the world is evolving and changing and going today. They're not focused on any of that type of thing. They're just, you know, people have got different interests today. You know. Yeah, certain things will, but that just happens. That just happens naturally, mate. Society evolves, and sometimes, you know, eventually people decide, you know what, like we no longer want to have this kind of construct of society, and we're going to get rid of it and try a different formula, kind of thing. You know, try something different. You know. Say okay, we want to be a self-governed state. If you see what I mean, where the people. You know, run the state, you know. So.
Well, I didn't even. My schooling was awful. You know, and I think, like, my story really is sort of like, I was locked up for 2 years, and then when I went up to the senior schools, I couldn't read or write. I just didn't want to be in there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. At school.
Yeah.
You know, but. When I went up to the senior schools, they had 7 different sets. You know, I'm going to be open with you. And because I was locked up in the cupboard and I couldn't read or write, they put me in the low set, in the bottom set of 7, right? And it made me feel stupid. You know, and I expect it did every child, didn't it? I'm not sure, you know, but it humiliated me being in the bottom set, you know, because I knew I was quite smart in a kind of way, yeah? And I was quite smart. In a kind of way, I was a good artist.
Yeah.
I had a big imagination on me, you know, but they put me in this bottom set and I was there for 4 years, you know, and I left school early. I couldn't read or write very well, you know, and I taught myself how to read and write, whatever, you know, but, you know, schools should be doing this to children, you know, sort of separating them. So, you know, it should be kind of putting them in the same classroom in a funny way, you know, and teaching them how to read.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know, do you know what I mean? It's just crazy how they separate children like that, you know, and they're children. And they should be, you know, personally, I don't even agree with them being put in rooms, like I was, this is my experience of schools, put in a classroom every day and sat down on a chair most of the time, you know, and had a bit of PE, outdoors, whatever, you know, but not often. You know, and I wasn't very free at school, you know. It's like to me it was like a prison.
Yeah.
You know, and it took my freedom away, to be honest with you, because I knew that I just loved being, you know, sort of like, once I left, you know, out of school, and when school was over, I'd run home and enjoy life. You know, and I'd enjoy life sort of in my own way, exploring sort of like the woods, looking at whatever, you know, the insects, whatever, you know, enjoying life, you know, being free, as a child should be, you know,
Yeah.
and playing as well, you know, a lot more, you know, it's like kids, you know, when they, you know, when the lesson's over, the bell goes, ding dong, and then they got a little quarter of an hour playtime. You know, where they play, and then all of a sudden, you know, especially when they're young, they're all playing in the playground, then the bell goes. And I remember my mum saying that, she told me the story, that they rang the bell, and some nipper threw a ball at her, right? Yeah. And when they used to ring the bell, they didn't do it with me, but I'm talking about 60 years ago, I suppose, right? They rang the bell, and everyone had to stay still. They couldn't move.
Yeah.
They had to stay. This is the truth, right? So every kid had to stop, be, you know, disciplined completely, yeah. And anyway, some nipper threw a ball at my mum, and my mum caught it, and my mum got punishment for that.
Okay.
You know, she got punished. You know, do you know what I mean? That's what schools are like.
Yeah.
Like being in the army almost. Do you know what I mean? Disciplined. It's not freedom.
Yeah.
You know, they sort of like, schools are kind of like belong to the government in a funny way, you know, and they've got better.
Yeah.
They've slowly improved, you know. I don't know what they're like today, because I don't go to school, but I know that they've improved a lot, you know.
Yeah.
They don't lock kids up in the cupboard anymore like they did with me.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
You know, and so I just don't agree with schools. I think children need to sort of learn on, they'd be happier on a farm, learning somehow, singing songs together,
Yeah.
playing together. You know, not all this garbage of learning this and learning that. Right? It's seriously a lot of rubbish, you know, to be. You know, I've done most of my learning the last few years, to be honest with you, yeah.
Yeah.
I've done, you know, the last 5 years I've done more learning than ever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I just wish that I was free of school.
Yeah.
You know, if I didn't go to school, I think I would have been a lot happier today.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
I'll let you say a word because I went on for about 10 minutes.
And that's okay, mate. Freedom for me, mate, is my definition of freedom is very, very like broad, if you see what I mean. Like I can't really define it as one thing. Like there's so many different aspects, you know. You got financial freedom, you got being just like emotionally free, where you're just, like you said, you're happy and you know you have you've let go of everything in your life, if you see what I mean. You're just on a real positive like vibe and frequency, and you know you're just in a very happy place, or you know happy and peaceful place. You know, got inner peace and happy and content with life, and you know. You also got, you know, financial freedom, where you could be free to do whatever you want, kind of on a daily basis with your time, and choose what you want to do every day because you're completely financially free and you don't have to answer to anyone, you know, because you know, like I said, you're financially free. You know, financially you're straight, so you can decide to do whatever you want to do on a daily basis with your time because you've got enough money to sustain yourself and or your family or whatever the case may be, you know. So. And there's a lot, it's you know, so like I said, it's a very broad spectrum, you know. It's one of those things you could go into, you could analyse and talk about for a long time, but it's, you know, it's many different aspects. For me, there's many different aspects of it, you know, to it for me that, you know, in terms of my definition of what it is, you know, means that, you know.
Well, we've got where
I want to be free physically. I want to be free mentally. I want to be free emotionally. I want to be free psychologically. I want to be free spiritually. I want to be free financially. I want to be free sexually, etc. You get me? You know, that is the goal. You know.
Like on Monday, it's Saturday now, isn't it, at the moment? But on Monday, I'm free to sort of go to the costumes shop and buy a gorilla outfit and buy some bananas from the shop and walk around the supermarket as a gorilla if I want, you know, or a penguin, get a penguin outfit, you know, whatever, you know. But you know, that's freedom for you, isn't it? You are free to do what you want in a funny way,
yeah,
you know, to a degree,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's true.
But money, you know, like if you had a lot of money, it does give you more boats.
Oh, it does, yeah, for sure.
Travel.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
You know, like you know, if you had, if Bill Gates said, "Oh, I don't want any money," and gave it to you, you know, because he's your friend.
Yeah.
I don't want any money anymore, and gave it all to you, and you could shoot off to New York tomorrow and with your wife and children, you know. And,
well,
you know,
the first thing I do, obviously, I would make sure me and my family are straight. Me and my family, and my wife's family. All be straight, that'd be the first thing, but that won't take long. I'll make sure everyone's straight very quickly. And then after that, mate, I'd probably help a lot of people, mate. I'd do a lot.
Say not Bill Gates, say the Queen.
I would do a lot. I would do a lot of good, mate. I would help a lot of people, you know.
So say not Bill Gates, the Queen.
That's what I'm saying.
All the money.
That's what I'm saying. I'd do a lot of good, mate. I would help a lot of people, you know. I would try to bring an end to a lot of stuff that's going on in the world, you know, to be honest, you know.
I mean, the Queen's very wealthy, isn't she?
For sure.
She owns
1/6 of the world's land and shit.
Yeah.
You know?
So
still to this day, she owns like 1/6.
that's a lot of soil.
Yeah, 1/6 of the world's land.
There's a lot of soil and grass and trees.
Yeah.
She owns.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. It's true.
But like, so if you had a lot of money now, you know, it gives you a lot of power, doesn't
It gives
it?
you freedom to give, like you said, it gives you that
You can
power.
turn into a Superman almost, can't you?
Well, like you said, if tomorrow you've got enough money, like you said, if you're that kind of, if you like kind of got that kind of like really like quite wealthy, you see what I mean, quite, you know, got a lot of money. You're one of these people that can say, oh, tomorrow, you know, book a private jet. You know, book a private jet. Let's go to, you know, take you and your wife and your kids. Let's go to Italy tomorrow. Book the private jet.
Yeah.
You know, let's go to Italy. You know.
You can do exactly what you want almost.
That's what I mean. It gives you that power. So let's tomorrow.
You go to paradise.
This is what we're doing.
You go to paradise.
That's what I mean. Like,
You
so,
know,
let's. You know, you fancy going to Las Vegas? Let's go to Las Vegas tomorrow.
Well, I wouldn't go there. I'd go to paradise. You know, there's paradise places that you know that I'd love to go to. Really, you know, to be honest with you, I would do if I had a lot more money.
Yeah.
You know, but you
Yeah.
know, I haven't got enough money to go to the Isle of Wight tomorrow. You know, or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
And, you know, but money, it gives you such. You know, it's quite magical. Funny enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it gives. It's like a magic wand, isn't it? You know.
Financial freedom, mate, is one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest goals I think you should have as a person in life as you get older. Financial freedom is so important. You know, being able to. Not everyone's going to attain it, and that is just a reality. We have to accept that. But if you're one of these people that works very hard and is able to obtain that, where you're able to be financially free for the rest of your life because of the hard work you've put in your earlier years of life and were very successful, or whatever the case may be, then yeah.
But with, as I said, not having a lot of money in life, you kind of feel like you're in a freezer, you know? Because I've had times I've not had no money, you know, and it freezes your life in a way where you can't do anything. You can't even get on a train, do you know what I mean? If you ain't got no money, you can't even go to the shop to buy a Mars bar, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so it does freeze you up a bit in a funny way, you know? So money is part of freedom in a funny way, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you ain't got a penny, you're going to find life very difficult, aren't you?
Oh, for sure, yeah, mate, yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
But a monkey wouldn't need a penny.
Mm.
You know, it just like looking for bananas or whatever to eat, isn't it? You know, and that's what we're doing basically, waking up and trying to find something to eat, really. You know, but we're living in this money world.
Well, that's what happens too. Sometimes some of these homeless people, they get arrested for stealing and for robbery and all that type of shit. But sometimes they're, like you said, they're just trying to get something to eat. You know, just trying to get something to eat quickly from the shop, from the corner store, or the shop, or the off license quickly, a little sandwich, or you know, trying to take a little something quickly and hope the boss man doesn't see. You know, sometimes that's what happens. Like you said, sometimes homeless people, you know, they might end up stealing something because they're trying to survive. You know.
Well, I've met a lot of interesting people actually, sort of in the last job I did. I did removals, and I travelled all around really, you know, far and near, whatever, and met a lot of interesting people, you know, rich and poor, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but I can remember doing this job on the seafront, close to me, yeah, and there's this millionaire that lived there, you know, and this was a 5-day removal.
Okay, 5 day?
Yeah, because
Wow.
he had a big house.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, and I got to know this guy. His name was Jeff, whatever, yeah. And he gave my children computers.
Oh, nice.
Whatever, you know. It's
Nice.
a really big house.
Yeah.
Huge. You know, but he was actually moving out because he actually got bankrupt.
Ah.
You know, and he was getting thrown out of the house.
Yeah.
And his wife was separating from him, and she went to live with his mum, parents, whatever, and he was just upside down in life, you know, he lost everything in a kind of way, you know. But I can remember doing this removal, right, and looking outside the window, you know, sort of sometimes, you know, he had these big balconies, big blue windows, they're all tinted, right, really, really big house, you know.
Yeah.
Huge it was, big, you know, and upstairs they had this, because she had a daughter with this woman who was divorced and whatever.
Yeah.
An attic full of clothes, and it looked like new looking there or something. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
It's a million £1 million worth of clothes just on top, whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
But while I'm talking about this, is sometimes I sort of like looked outside and there was a tramp.
Okay, yeah.
And he was sort of like, he used to sort of sleep on the benches, but these benches had quite nice little sort of roofs on top of them.
Yeah.
Do you know the ones I mean?
I think so.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
see from. But they got nice seats, and he just slept there, yeah? And he had a better view than these people did, because in the summertime they had their windows open, you know. I know they did, you know, and you know it wouldn't be no. He had a better view, and he wouldn't pay nothing, you know. He was actually free of paying electric, paying gas, paying, you know, do you know what I mean? And he was having he could hear the seafront there, do you know what I mean? And I'm just sort of showing you the two realities where this rich man was absolutely losing everything.
Yeah.
You know, in a funny, you know, I always remember it. And this guy was just sleeping every night there. You know, because Jeff told me he's been sleeping there all the time.
Yeah.
That's his home.
Okay.
You know, but what a nice home it is, you know.
Mm.
You know, because he's got a roof over his head, you know, and he's got no worries really, like a lot of people have in this world, you know. And you do create your own worries sometimes in a way, you know, by sometimes you can, you know, it's like for instance my Uncle Mike, he started up a business with my other Uncle Brian, right, and it was just cleaning carpets really, yeah, little business they did. And it took off, and they started making lots of money, you know, and they decided to get a nice van, you know, and you know, but after a few years, because they were sort of like family, it didn't work out, and they were arguing about things, you know.
Yeah.
And they split up, and they went their own ways. And Brian, he just wanted to keep it simple, yeah, just get work and just keep one van, you know, not make it any bigger than it was. Yeah, just do his own, you know. But then he carried on doing it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Uncle Mike, all right, he wanted to make it really big, you know, and he employed me, and then I employed my friend, whatever, and he had quite a lot of people working for him again, yeah. And he had 5 vans, I think, in the end. Yeah. But then he went bankrupt, you know, and Brian, he just carried on. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes people get too big and too greedy, and they're not thinking about the future too much, you know? You with me? You know? You know, I don't know whether it's anything to do with freedom, what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm just sort of saying that sometimes people buy too much, you know, not thinking, you know, sometimes you just don't have to buy too much, I don't think, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I used to have a garden, yeah, and I used to take at least a day's work every week.
Yeah.
I ain't got that anymore, do you know what I mean? I'm free of it.
Yeah.
You know, and I just go outside looking around and, you know, in the woods, whatever, and I just think, wow, this is my garden now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
You know?
Sometimes in life, mate, less is more.
Yeah, well, some people spend a lot of time in their gardens. You know, a lot of their spare time.
Yeah.
You know? And some people don't even see their gardens.
Yeah.
You know, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, so we're not here for long, and we're all free to do what we want in a funny way. You know, it's up to you if you want to do gardening.
Yeah.
You know, like next week and take it on for good. If you see what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm personally at the moment I'm learning digital editing.
Yes.
You know, and I can't wait to get better. You know,
Yeah.
you know, I've just got this new program, and hopefully next year, you know, I'm gonna be an expert at it. You know, as long as I keep at it. You know, I'd rather do that than garden now. Do you know what I mean? I used to do a bit of gardening, but you know, I think what a waste of time it is in a funny way. You know, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice if you've got a garden. It's nice.
Yeah.
You know, to make your own garden art.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, I did have a garden, like I said, and I lost it, and it was a beautiful garden too, you know. And I had a lot of plans to go in it, you know, but, you know, that dream's over, and when that dream's smashed, you know, you've got a family, and that ends, I've got to start thinking about a new dream, you know. And I'm enjoying my new dream now.
Right.
I am.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about overcoming, adjusting, adapting and overcoming. You know?